Welcome back to K&L Farms. I'm Ken, and my channel now has merchandise on it. If you are so inclined to look at it, just below the description you'll find a list of some of the stuff I put up for sale. And then we were going to go kind of an interesting story behind the purchase of this trailer. So I'll sit here for a minute. Now this trailer I bought in 02, but and the difference between society when I was there in 02 to today, 21 years later, there'll be a couple of keynotes. But anyway, I was working back then, 50-hour week at least, at minimum. My wife was working also. She had a 40-hour week job, and my start time for my job was 5 a.m. I had to start at 5 a.m. So the beginning of this day, when I bought this trailer, is I go in to a convenience store, mom and pop store, gas station, and so I get there at 4:30. Remember, I got to start at 5. And at 4:30, I get there, and I go in, and my lottery tickets, back then I paid a lot of lotteries, dollar type situation, but I had lottery tickets that I wanted to check. So I go in and get a cup of coffee. So I go in, it's fairly crowded, loggers, some of the people from the mill were there too. They're getting their lunch break and whatever. It used to be a kind of a common stop. You'd stop there before work and then you'd go on to work. So I go in there. I go in there with my 3 lottery tickets from the previous day, go in, make my cup of coffee, go to the counter, wait through about 5 or 6 people. Sorry about Martin, but I go, he goes. So anyway, 5 or 6 people, wait through line, get in line. I give the lady the tickets and ask her for 3 more tickets for that day. I give her the 3 previous tickets and I say, can you check those? She said, yes, I can. So I go in, give her the 3 tickets. She checks them. She said, okay, you got a winner. And she took a receipt out of the machine and she stapled it to that ticket. She took the 3 tickets I was purchasing, threw away the ones that weren't winners, put them together, paid cash for the cup of coffee, and I left. So I was thinking, here's where part of the society has changed from that when I was working in 02 to today. 3 key things. One is, when I walked in, every person in that store was going to a job. Every person was going to a job. Every person in that store was on a time clock like I was. They had 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever they had to go in, make their purchase, and leave. That was first thing. I guess you can also go through, didn't see anybody in that store in pajamas buying energy drinks. They were all in work clothes going to work. That was number 1. Number 2 is, I gave the lady cash, and she took the cash. Back then, the banks were pushing us to go to plastic. This is something kind of side note a little bit, but we were fighting it. Cash is good, we don't need your plastic. Well, now society, everybody wants to do everything with plastic. There's a loaded cost on every purchase through plastic that the bank gets some percentage from the storekeeper that passes it on to the consumer, to me. So they're charging me to use a product that they gave me or pushed me to get with my money. They're charging me 3%, up to 3% for the purchase, because the store owner doesn't just take that money over, take that finances over. It gets passed on to the customer, which is me. So I'm the bank now, and society seems to want to jump to, oh yeah, let's use more plastic, let's do away with money. When I gave her the cash, there wasn't a loaded fee. They didn't have to boost the prices to cover the bank charges. Well, now they cover the bank charges, and I'm trying to utilize my money. I'm trying to spend my money that I get charged on. Anyway, that was one thing that was significantly different. The other thing is, and previously I said, okay, so everybody's on a time clock. If you didn't show up to work that day on time, your employer frowned upon it. He didn't really like the fact. Well, now it seems like everybody is coming and going as they please, and there's no real set time to start. Back then, with those bunch of people that I was in there with, they were going to a time clock. The other thing is, I guess there's 4, is when I went to the counter, 6 people, I waited for 5 people, 6 people behind me. I was conscious about the time I was spending at the counter. That's why I didn't look at that receipt. took the receipt, put it in my pocket, got my coffee, gave her the cash, I was out the door. Because I was concerned about the 5 other people behind me. Their time was just, or my time and their time was just as important because they had somewhere to be. I didn't stand around in the counter and do whatever I wanted to do, not concerned about the well-being of the people behind me. In the store, out of the store, and I'm on my way. Okay, so got my lottery tickets, 3 new ones, the 1 old one. It's got stapled receipt. She said $10. Put it in my pocket, haven't looked at it. Show up to work. I go on into work. You know, good day. It's dark. It's still dark the day I went in. Going to work, put my lunchbox down. I had put those lottery tickets in my lunchbox, coffee down. I got to go get my coveralls on because remember I was a trade person all my life, worked in the trades all my life. I'm a trade person, got to get my coveralls on because I got to start the mill up. People that were at the store, they need a paycheck, they need the mill running. My job at 5 o'clock was to get the mill running. You know, to get the mill running, make sure it ran correctly. Then they took over, production guys took over. Production guys took over, and then I could go back. So it's like 6 o'clock. Got about an hour to get the mill started, making sure everybody's in their place. Now we're starting making product. We're making product. That was my job. Now the other person, I went in, started the mill, and then another person with the same craft as mine came in about 7. So I go in, I go to sit down, have a sip of coffee. I look at the lottery, get the receipt out, the ticket with the receipt on it. It says $10,000. The freaking ticket says $10,000. I'm like, well, that can't be right. She said $10, so I called her back, and she said, well, whatever that receipt says. I knew the lady at the mom and pop place. She said, whatever the ticket says is what they'll pay you. She said, you go up there, they'll give you that money. And I was like, okay. Well, now I'm at work. I'm clocked in my coveralls, and I don't miss much time back then, but that day I'm taking off, you can imagine. So I call my boss, and I say, hey man, I'm suddenly sick. I don't know what it is. It's food poisoning or something. He says, okay, wait till your buddy comes in, your other person comes in, and you can clock out. And then at about 8 o'clock, we'll have another fella come in and we'll take your spot. So your partner will have to go about an hour. I said, everything's running fine. I got started, everything's good. It's just I don't feel well. He says, okay. Hang up the phone from him. Click, get my coveralls off. I just set him in this office. Didn't even take him back to my locker. Call the wife. Now remember, the wife's got to be at the schoolyard to drop the kids off at 8 o'clock. She'd drop them off at 8. She started at 9. She worked till 5 o'clock. I got off about 2:33. I could make it back to schoolyard and pick the kids up. I told the wife, I says, hey, I'm going to Olympia, and got a lottery ticket. I'm gonna go get some money. She said, because back then we were raising kids, we didn't have a lot of money. She says, oh, I don't have time for this. She thought I was pulling her leg, practical joke, whatever. 15 minutes later, she comes to the conclusion, I'm going to Olympia, or I'm going to the lottery office, and I'm going to find out if this ticket is good or not. Take the day off work, so I've lost a day's wages. So she said, okay, how are we going to do this? I said, okay, about 7 o'clock. I can make it home by 7:30. You drop the kids off, come back to the house, get in the truck. I was in a truck, she was in her car, and we'll go up and check the lottery ticket. Okay, I said, all right, it's $10,000 is worth today. She takes a day off work. We go get together. Now remember, we're leaving the house about 8:30. Got about an hour drive. The lottery office opened up at 9 o'clock. We'll be 30 minutes over. On the way up, we got an hour commute. She's in the truck, meet her at home. We're on about an hour commute to the lottery office. We get to the lottery office. By then, I had thought, well, what do I need to spend this money on? She'd been waiting on a quad. I had a quad. She'd been waiting on a quad for a couple of years. I've been sandbagging her because I didn't really have the money for a quad. To purchase a quad. We go up to the lottery office. The lady said, yeah, that's a valid ticket. She gives me, after the Uncle Sam gets his share, I get $8,000. I said, okay, I got $8,000. You need a quad. Seemed like it was close to Valentine's Day or something. You need a quad. All right, let's go get a quad. We get on it seemed like we had cell phones then, but we didn't have laptops and all that. She gets on a phone. She calls a vendor that we know that sells quad. I get on the phone. I call the vendor. He's got a quad that I've been kind of eyeballing. She says no to the quad that I want. She says yes to the other quad. So I'm up there 9 o'clock, 9:15. We leave, get there 9:45, 10 o'clock. I got cash in my pocket. He says, this much. I say, this okay. Take the money out, hand him the money. Said, help me load it up in the truck. Load it up in the truck. Haven't got to the trailer yet. That's the hook in the thing. You don't know about the trailer. Okay, I got a quad in the back of the truck. I still got, it seemed like I had $1,600 cash left. Yeah, I'm going through it fast, but once in a lifetime type deal, at least has been for me anyway. So we're on our way home. Make it home easily. I got to get the kids at 3. They're at the schoolyard. Lisa says, okay, well, we'll go home, unload the quad, you run and get the kids, and then tonight I can make dinner. We'll make dinner and have a night together. So as I turn the corner, I get off the main highway. There's a main road going. As I get off the corner and I head down the main road, she says, well, you got a quad in the back and you got a quad at home. What are you going to do with 2 quads? We can't move 2 quads. So I say to myself, no, I can't. Of course, my wife's a smart one, and she is. I said, no, I can't. Well, I got $1,600 in my hand. What does a trailer cost? What does this trailer cost? Because I haven't left the main boulevard. I'm going to divert and go to another highway. I got to go down another highway, drive about 45 minutes on this other highway. I'm on the main corridor where I lived at that time. She says, well, I don't know. She gets on the phone. We pull over. There's a gas station we used to pull over. There was a mom and pop place at home that we had, and now I'm 45 minutes away. There's a mom and pop place we used to stop at all the time that about 45 minutes away from town. So we pull into their driveway. They won't mind because they know us. So we pull in. She gets on the phone. She calls and she says, well, that fella says it's $1,400 or something, $1,500. I said, okay, well, is that out the door? She's on the phone with the fella. The fella says, no, that's not out the door because you got to pay sales tax where I'm at. That's part of the deal with the quad too. I had to pay sales tax on that and licensing on that, but I paid all that on the quad already. Need a trailer because I'm going to move 2 quads. Elise says, well, he says it'll be $1,599. I got $1,600. I said, oh, score. I get a trailer, a quad, and still have $1 left. So we go up, and the guy gives me the license, the tabs, the insurance, the whole 9 yards. We got the whole ride going, and I give him $1,599 in cash. I have $1 in my pocket thinking I'm doing good. We get ready to pull out of the driveway, and my wife, the smart one, she says, well, that didn't have a spare tire. I got thinking, well, no, it didn't come with a spare tire. What if I get a flat on the way home? I'm 45 minutes away from home. I don't have a spare for a trailer. This is the first trailer I ever bought. She says, well, maybe we need to go back. So we go back, pull in, and guess what the guy says? The guy says, yeah, we'll give you a spare tire. It's $68. So that's kind of a story of my day buying this. Remember, I'm through $10,000, and I've still got it 21 years later, so it wasn't a bad purchase, but I sure burned through it fast that day, because I got a highball now to get back to the schoolyard and pick up the kids. But I got a brand new quad in the back of the truck. I got this brand new trailer hooked to the back of the truck, and I got a spare tire hooked, but I was down. Now I'm down $67. I lost $67. The day I won $10,000 in the lottery, I was down $68. So I thought that was an interesting story, at least for me, and I thought I'd tell you. Now the next one is coming up on the channel is probably going to be around removing the I call it the blade, but you know it as the snowplow off the truck, because I need to take it down to the sawmill and do a little bit of work. But that's the story I wanted to tell you today. Dan, thank you. Have a good day.